Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about how to collect information from the user to use in our program. So in the first set of examples we did, we used hard-coded values. We did a triangle solver and a price calculator, but we used predefined values that were typed in as part of the code. But in our programs, we're going to want the user to interact with us, and we're going to want the user to tell us what the base price of for the price solver is, or maybe they tell us what the length and width of a rectangle are, so that the program can solve more than one problem. We can solve whatever problem the user is giving us. So in order to do that, we need to be importing Java packages. So these are some common packages. We're going to look at how to use these. The ones we're going to use the most is this java.util. This is where the scanner is. The scanner is a system class that we will use to collect data from the user. We also have things like text and time and IO. We'll use all of these during the course to read and write files, to do date and time manipulation. We'll use some to do formatting of numbers so that we can format things to look like dollars or percentages and so forth. So right now we're going to start with the scanner. So here's how you use these. You use an import statement where you give the package name and the class name. In this case, we're importing java.util.scanner. This allows us to import the scanner object that we'll use. These import lines go at the very top of your program, above the definition of your class. Okay. We can also import everything at once. So in this case, we're importing the scanner and the date, both from the java.util. We can also do a java.util.star. This will import all of the util classes. This is a shorthand. It can save you a little typing. It's a little sloppy. It can possibly uh, make your make your programs a little bigger than they need to be because you're importing a lot of unused objects. But for the most part, in our course, we can use uh, the dot star import. Okay. All right. And so here is how we use the scanner. So we're going to import the scanner using the java.util.scanner or java.util.star. And then we're going to create an import statement where we're going to say scanner. This is the data type. This is the definition of a variable. The variable name is sc. Scanner is the data type. See uppercase S because we're using the class. We're going to say new scanner. In this case, we actually have to use the new keyword here. This is creating an instance of a scanner. And that will make more sense what instances are as we get further into the class. But just know that for now, we're going to use the new statement with the new keyword. We're going to create a scanner and we're going to say what do we want to scan from, and we're going to say system.in. This means that we're creating a scanner that will read input from the console. So when we will give the user a prompt and tell them what we want them to enter in, and then we will issue this statement for the scanner. We'll use the scanner object, which will stop the program and let the user type something in. So this is the definition of the scanner. We're not actually using it yet. That's just defining it so that we can use it. Here's another example. Uh, uh, we could create a date object. We can create time. We can create format, string formatters, all sorts of things that we can do with these examples. Here's how we use the scanner. In this case, we've defined scanner as SC. We're going to use the next line method on the scanner, which will stop the program, let the user type something in, and once the user presses enter, then the program will continue. Okay. We see some other things here. Here's a double. This allows us to take string values and parse them into double and integer data types. When we read from the scanner, we will always get a string data type. Whatever the user types in is going to come in as a string. So if we want to manipulate the values that the user is entering as integers or doubles, we're going to have to convert them. And we do that using these double values. Double.parseDouble. There's an integer dot parseInt method as well. Okay. Then we use the system.out.println or .print to format our output. So println and print are both part of system.out. And so here we can, the difference is that print line puts a new line at the end of the data. So when I say print line, there's an implicit new line at the end of this so that my following printout will be on the line underneath on the console. If I use print, there's no new line here. So if I continue to issue print statements, they will just all stay on one line. Okay. So we'll see those in action um, a little later on. So here's a program you can read through. This is called Invoice App. Here's my public static void. We're doing some work here where we're defining some variables. We're doing some prints, some printouts. You get the idea. We've seen this, and this is what the output for that program is going to look like. Okay, let's study the scanner class a little bit. This is us defining a scanner. We use the import java.util.scanner. We're going to declare an instance of the scanner called SC, and we're going to say it's a new scanner from system.in, so we're going to read from the console. I'm then going to use this next line method from the scanner object that's going to read string off the console when the user presses enter, and then I will parse that. I will then use the parse method, parse int and parse double with my string. If I want to parse the value that was entered by the user into an int, I'll use integer.parseInt. Into a double, I would use double.parseDouble. These will throw an error if the user has typed some invalid data in. If we ask them to type in an integer and they type something that's not parsable into an integer, you'll get a runtime error. We will later learn how to deal with those. Right now, we're just not going to make mistakes when we type things in on the command line. So here's how it works. String, I'm declaring a variable named city. It's of data type string. It's going to be scanner.nextLine. Here's how I get an integer. I declare a variable named input. It's of type string. I get the next line, and then I declare a variable named count of type int, and I use the parseInt method to convert this. So then this takes input. I type in 10, 1, 0. That comes into my program as a string, 1, 0. I then parse that, and now I have count, which is a value of 10. Same as a double. Similar approach with the int, only using the double data types. Okay, let's do some examples. So there'll be subsequent videos in the Canvas module solving these examples.